Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. The Arleigh Burke class of guided missile destroyers, DDGs, is the United States Navy's first class of destroyer built around the Aegis Combat System and the SPY-1D multifunction passive electronically scanned array radar. The class is named for Admiral Arleigh Burke, an American destroyer officer in World War II, and later Chief of Naval Operations. The class leader, USS Arleigh Burke, was commissioned during Admiral Burke's lifetime. In this video, are the list of active Arleigh Burke class destroyers, Flight 1, from DDG 51 to DDG 71. Let's get into the details. USS Arleigh Burke, DDG 51, named for Admiral Arleigh A. Burke, is the lead ship of the Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyers. She was laid down by the Bath Iron Works Company at Bath, Maine, on December 6, 1988, and launched on September 16, 1989 by Mrs. Roberta Burke. The Admiral was present in person at her commissioning ceremony on July 4, 1991, which was held on the waterfront in downtown Norfolk, Virginia. USS BARY, DDG 52, is an Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer, commissioned in 1992. BARY is the fourth United States Navy ship named after the father of the American Navy, Commodore John BARY. USS John Paul Jones, DDG 53, is an Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer and the first ship of the class homeport on the West Coast. She is named after American Revolutionary War naval captain John Paul Jones and the second ship to be so named. She was built at Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine. USS Curtis Wilbur, DDG 54, is the fourth Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer. Curtis Wilbur was named for Curtis D. Wilbur, 43rd Secretary of the Navy, who served under President Calvin Coolidge. Built by Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine, she was commissioned in Long Beach, California, on March 19, 1994. USS STOUT, DDG 55, is the fifth Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer. Built by Ingalls Shipbuilding, she was commissioned on August 13, 1994 and she is currently homeported in Naval Station Norfolk. STOUT is named for Rear Admiral Harold F. Stout, who distinguished himself as the commanding officer of the destroyer USS Claxton during World War II. USS John S. McCain, DDG 56, is an Arleigh Burke class destroyer currently in the service of the United States Navy. This warship was originally named after John S. McCain, Sr., and John S. McCain, Jr., both admirals in the United States Navy. John S. McCain, Sr. commanded the aircraft carrier USS Ranger, and later the Fast Carrier Task Force during the latter stages of World War II. John S. McCain, Jr. commanded the submarines USS Gunnell and USS Dentuta during World War II. USS Mitscher, DDG 57, became the second United States Navy warship named to honor Admiral Mark A. Mitscher, famed naval aviator and World War II aircraft carrier task force commander. In 1988 the U.S. Navy contracted with Ingalls Shipbuilding, in Pascagoula, Mississippi to build the seventh ship of the Arleigh Burke class. USS Mitscher was commissioned on December 10, 1994, and was sponsored by Mrs. Elizabeth Ferguson. USS Laboon, DDG 58, is an Arleigh Burke class destroyer in the United States Navy. She is named for Father John Francis Laboon, 1921 to 1988, a captain in the Chaplain Corps of the United States Navy, who was awarded the Silver Star during World War II while serving on the submarine USS Peto. USS Russell, DDG 59, is an Arleigh Burke class destroyer in the United States Navy. She is the second ship of the USN to carry the name Russell and is named for Rear Admiral John Henry Russell and his son, Commandant of the Marine Corps John Henry Russell, Jr. USS Paul Hamilton, DDG 60, is an Arleigh Burke class destroyer in the United States Navy currently in service. The ship is named after Paul Hamilton, the third United States Secretary of the Navy, constructed at Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine. Paul Hamilton was commissioned in Charleston, South Carolina. The destroyer was transferred to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii after her commissioning. She is currently homeport in San Diego, California. USS Ramage, DDG-61, is an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer of the United States Navy. The ship is named for Vice Admiral Lawson P. Ramage, a notable submarine commander and Medal of Honor recipient in World War II. Ramage was laid down January 4, 1993 at the Ingalls Shipbuilding in Pascagoula, Mississippi, launched February 11, 1994, sponsored by Barbara Ramage, wife of the Admiral, and commissioned July 22, 1995. USS Fitzgerald, DDG-62, named for United States Navy officer Lieutenant William Charles Fitzgerald, is an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in the U.S. Navy. Fitzgerald's keel was laid down by Bath Iron Works, Bath, Maine, February 9, 1993, launched January 29, 1994, sponsored by Betty A. Fitzgerald, widow of the late Lieutenant Fitzgerald, and commissioned October 14, 1995, in Newport, Rhode Island. The ship was then homeport in Naval Base San Diego, California. USS Stethem, DDG-63, is an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in the United States Navy. The ship was built in Pascagoula, Mississippi, starting on May 11, 1993. She was commissioned on October 21, 1995. Stethem is named for steelworker second class Robert Stethem, who was a Navy sailor killed by terrorists on board TWA 847 in Beirut, Lebanon in 1985. She is part of the Pacific Fleet, assigned to Destroyer Squadron 15. USS Carney, DDG-64, is the 14th Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in the United States Navy. The ship is the first to be named after Admiral Robert Carney, who served as Chief of Naval Operations during the Eisenhower administration. Carney was laid down August 3, 1993 at Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine. She was launched July 23, 1994 with Betty Taussig, daughter of Admiral Carney, as sponsor. She was placed in commission June 8, 1996 and is homeport in Rota, Spain. USS Benfold, DDG-65, is an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in the United States Navy. Built by the Ingalls Shipbuilding Corporation in Pascagoula, Mississippi, Benfold is the 15th of 76 planned Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers. Named for posthumous Korean War United States Marine Corps Medal of Honor recipient Hospital Corpsman 3rd Class Edward Clyde Benfold, she joined the U.S. Pacific Fleet for service on March 30, 1996. USS Gonzalez, DDG-66, is an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in the United States Navy. She is named for Sergeant Alfredo Cantu Gonzalez, a Medal of Honor recipient in the Vietnam War. The warship took part in Operation Allied Force, firing Tomahawk cruise missiles at Serbian targets in 1999. She also assisted a cruise ship, Seabourn Spirit, after an abortive attack by pirates off the coast of Somalia in 2005. USS Cole, DDG-67, is an Arleigh Burke-class, Aegis-equipped guided missile destroyer, homeport in Naval Station Norfolk, Virginia. Cole is named in honor of Marine Sergeant Darrell S. Cole, a machine gunner killed in action on Iwo Jima on February 19, 1945, during World War II. Cole is one of 62 authorized Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, and one of 21 members of the Flight I class that utilized the 5-in, 130mm, 54 caliber gun mounts found on the earliest of the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. The ship was built by Ingalls Shipbuilding and was delivered to the Navy on March 11, 1996. USS The Sullivans, DDG-68, an Arleigh Burke-class Aegis-guided missile destroyer, is the second ship of the United States Navy to be named for the 5 Sullivan brothers, George, Francis, Joseph, Madison, and Albert Sullivan, aged 20 to 27, who lost their lives when their ship, USS Juno, was sunk by a Japanese submarine in November 1942 in the naval battle of Guadalcanal. The first ship named for them was USS The Sullivans, DD 537. This was the greatest military loss by any one American family during World War II. USS Milius, DDG-69, is an Arleigh Burke-class Aegis-guided missile destroyer of the United States Navy. Her namesake is Commander Paul L. Milius, 1928–1968, of U.S. Navy Squadron VO-67. His OP-2E aircraft, call sign Sophomore 50, was hit by anti-aircraft fire over Laos on February 27, 1968, and he ordered his crew to bail out. 7 of the 9 men aboard were rescued. The remains of the 8th crew member, ATN-2 John Hartseam, who was wounded in the attack, were identified on February 19, 1999. Although he exited his aircraft, Commander Milius was never recovered. Commander Milius received the Navy Cross in 1968. USS Hopper, DDG-70, is an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer of the United States Navy, named for the pioneering computer scientist Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. Hopper is only the second U.S. Navy warship to be named for a woman from the Navy's own ranks. This ship is the 20th destroyer of her class. USS Hopper, DDG-70, was the 11th ship of this class to be built at Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine, and construction began on February 23, 1995. She was launched and christened on January 6, 1996. On September 6, 1997, she was commissioned in San Francisco outside of Silicon Valley with Commander Thomas D. Crowley in command. USS Ross, DDG-71, is an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer in the United States Navy. She is the second Navy ship to be named Ross, the first Navy ship named for Medal of Honor recipient Donald K. Ross, and the 21st destroyer of her class. The first Ross, DD-563, was named for David Ross, a captain in the Continental Navy. This are the list of active inventory of the Flight 1 variants of Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. I will feature on my next video the Flight 2 variants of the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. If you have feedback, please comment below, it will help us grow. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.